A previous Padres game, a preview of today's starting pitching matchup, our keys to the game. Plus, we'll hear from manager Mike Shildt.
Ultimately, what we're here to do is win.
From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
San Diego Padres baseball coming up on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network. Today, the Padres take on the Los Angeles Dodgers in the second game of a four-game series. Our starting pitching matchup today on the mound for the Dodgers, left-hander Jack Dreyer, and for the Padres, right-hander Randy Vasquez. Hi, good everyone. Sam Levitt with you from Dodger Stadium here in LA. First pitch coming up at 7:10 as the Padres try to bounce back in the second game of this four-game set. Coming up in the next 50 minutes, we have a lot to do. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. I go one-on-one with Padres reliever David Morgan, our keys to the game, and much, much more, including a visit with Padres radio voice Jesse Agler in just a few minutes. But first, it's time to set the table, brought to you by Fraser Farms Market. Set your table with the highest quality of natural and organic products from Fraser Farms Market, a San Diego original since 1971, with 3 locations, La Mesa Vista and Oceanside, and at FraserFarmsMarket.com. Padres enter today 39-32. Padres have lost 5 of their last 7 games, all against National League West opponents. Meanwhile, the Dodgers entered today 44-29. Dodgers have won 3 in a row. Padres entered today 4 games behind LA for first place in the National League West. So these next 3 games are very important for the Padres to stay afloat towards the top of the NL West. Padres are just 1-3 against LA so far this season. We had the series opener against the Dodgers here last night in LA. Let's quickly rewind.
Did you miss what happened in the last Padres game? Let's take a look back with our Padres Rewind on the Padres Radio Network.
Last night, Shohei Ohtani took the mound in the top of the first inning. Padres got a run against them on a Manny Machado sac fly. Dylan Cease was electric to start the game. He struck out the side in the first inning. First 5 batters, he struck out all 5. Padres still led 1-0. Going bottom 3, a runner on third base for Shohei Ohtani.
1-0 to Ohtani, who struck out to lead off in the first inning. Swings here, hits it on a line to left center field. That'll tie the game. Down for a base hit, and it 2 hops up against the very base of the wall. Ohtani into second with an RBI double, and it's 1-1 here in the third.
The Padres answered in the fourth inning. Gavin Sheets drew a leadoff walk. Xander Bogaerts was next.
1-0 the pitch. And Bogaerts lines it sharply towards left center field. He has found the alleyway. That one will bounce and roll up against the wall. It bounces away from Pages. Sheets going to score all the way from first base as the throw comes into Edman. An RBI double for Xander Bogaerts. And the Padres hot back on top. It's 2-1.
So the Padres had a 2-1 lead going bottom 4. Teoscar Hernandez reached on a 1-out infield single against Cease. Will Smith doubled. That sent Hernandez to third base. That brought up Max Muncy.
Muncy 2 for 3, couple of singles last Wednesday, 3 out of 10 in the series in San Diego. 1-0 pitch. Muncy swings, lines it into right center field. That's down and a base hit. 1 run will come in to score. Smith is being waved. There will be no relay to the plate. It's a 2-run single for Max Muncy, and now the Dodgers go back ahead. It's 3-2.
Later in the inning, 2 on and 2 out for Tommy Edman.
He's at first, Muncy at second. 0-1 the pitch. Line to the right field sharply. Fernando going to have to play it on a hop. Rounding third, heading home is Muncy. The throw comes in, gets behind Maldonado. Cease backs it up, and an RBI single for Tommy Edman makes it 4-2 Dodgers here in the fourth.
The trouble continued. Shohei Ohtani hit an RBI single. Mookie Betts had another, a 5-run inning. Cease giving up 6 hits. The Dodgers had a 6-2 lead through 4. Cease went 5 innings, gave up 6 runs on 8 hits. Padres still trailed 6-2 going to the top of the 6th inning. Manny Machado led off.
Well, the Padres got a battle. They are in slam range, down by 4.
3-2 in the air, deep down the right field line. Hernandez back towards the corner at the little wall. This one gonna go. Manny Machado the other way. 11th of the season. And the Padres make some noise here in the top of the 6th inning at 6-3.
But that's as close as the Padres would get last night. Final score, Dodgers 6 and the Padres 3 as LA wins the series opener, the opening game of this 4-game set. As we get ready for first pitch coming up at 7:10 here at Dodger Stadium, let's check in with Jesse Agler.
Let's take a trip up to the Padres broadcast booth for a deep dive on today's matchup with Jesse Agler in our Padres game preview on the Padres Radio Network.
Well, Jesse, good to talk to you on this Tuesday evening as we get ready for the second game of this 4-game series. We just heard your home run call of Manny Machado's blast to right field yesterday. So let's start there, Manny. Another nice game last night, had the home run to make it 6-3. Unfortunately, would not be enough for the Padres last night. But as we get towards the All-Star break and Manny continues to lead third baseman in the National League in All-Star voting, Jesse, how would you describe what Manny has been for this team in the first half so far?
Yeah, I think the first word that comes to mind is consistent. And, guys like Machado, when they get hot, they generally stay hotter than most guys do. They are hotter longer than most guys are. And from Manny, I mean, it seems like it was from opening day today. I mean, it's kind of amazing. I don't know that we've ever seen him on a run like this before, where he has been so consistently contributing on the offensive side, really from Jump Street. And, I mean, on opening day, 2 for 3, a couple of doubles, scored 3 runs, and he's pretty much just gone like that the whole season. I know the power got off to a little bit of a slow start. That's obviously come now in the last 3 weeks or so. But, I mean, he's just been doing it all, and it's great to see fans around the country, obviously San Diego and beyond, voting for him to start the All-Star game because incredibly well-deserved. Now that the homers are there, the RBIs are there, he's the third leading hitter in the league, and it's just been a marvelous season for Manny. It really has.
And we'll get an opportunity to celebrate Manny when he hits 2,000 hits, which is not all that far away, just 15 away from 2,000 entering this game. Let's talk about the pitching matchup a little bit here today. Start on the Padres side of things, Jesse. Randy Vasquez making a second consecutive start against the LA Dodgers. Now, if you were to look at his line and just look at the number of innings he pitched in his last start, you see 4 2/3, you would say, okay, must have meant that Randy didn't do that well, but that's not true. He was really good, really made one mistake, a home run given up to Michael Conforto. It will be interesting to see if he has that level of success and is asked to go even deeper tonight if he can have success against this LA lineup.
Yeah, it was definitely a quick hook last time. It was pretty much a very strict third time through kind of thing. Ohtani was coming up, and Mike Shildt said, you know what, we're good. We've gotten from you what we needed to get out of you here today. And unfortunately for the Padres that afternoon at Petco, the bullpen was not able to hold the line, and the Padres were not able to win that game. But there's no doubt he was outstanding against them. He really mixed and matched, did a nice job. The command was good. We didn't have to have any conversations about walks. Only issued the one. He had hit a batter also, but he was really, really good. And, yeah, I mean, look, in my opinion, and Ruben's and Mike's are certainly more important than mine. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, if we're in a very similar spot tonight, I would love to see Randy go a little bit deeper. Very easy to say from up here. Nobody's going to call for my head if it doesn't go well. But, that's the kind of progress you like to see a guy make as his career moves forward.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an intriguing start tonight for Randy. On the other side of things, this is going to be another bullpen game for the Dodgers. Now, this is a little bit different, Jesse, because they got guys that could be unavailable. Vesia, Scott, Yates, all have pitched 2 straight days. Kasperius threw 62 pitches last night. It will be the lefty Jack Dreyer to start this game. You would think he maybe goes a max of 2 innings or so. For all we know, we could see Matt Sauer for some bulk innings in this game, and the Padres hit him incredibly well last time they saw him in San Diego last week. So it's going to be pretty interesting, Jesse, to see how the Dodgers go about this here tonight.
It is. It's such a fascinating thing to talk about, and I want to make a point tonight, if the game allows it, to get into it a little bit deeper with Mud, because they are doing something that I think a lot of teams around the league don't think you can actually do. And of course, it's not ideal. The Dodgers, I would imagine, they would love to be able to roll Snell and Yamamoto and Sasaki and Glasnow and whoever out, every 5 days and just roll it like that. But that's not the position that they're in. So, how long can you do this? How often are you going to need to cycle these guys in and out? It's a fascinating experiment that they're going with. And look, you think back to the end of October last year, and I know they won the World Series. Obviously, they beat the Yankees, but these guys, so many of them, were so gassed by the end of the World Series that they were not effective. And the same was true of the Yankee relievers, by the way, because, come October, the leashes for the starters get incredibly short. And, it's a quick hook all the time, sometimes in the first inning, right? Sometimes in the second inning where, in a regular season game, a guy would be allowed to go on and on. So, it's a dangerous game they're playing. I don't know that I disagree with the way they're doing it based upon their circumstance. But, boy, watching the roster shuffle that they're probably going to have all summer will be kind of a fascinating thing. And it can't be fun as a hitter. It just can't. And I know none of the Padre guys want to say that. I know they don't want to sound defeatist. But, seeing a different guy every at-bat, that's tricky. And especially when they're guys of the quality that the Dodgers have. So it's ugly baseball. I don't think it's, I think I said last night, it's not an aesthetically pleasing version of baseball. But, Dave Roberts' job is not to present something beautiful. Dave Roberts' job is to win baseball games.
Yeah, Jesse, and I just want to continue the conversation a little bit deeper because Emmett Sheehan is scheduled to start tomorrow's game for the Dodgers. He's coming off a rehab assignment. He's not super stretched out, so they're going to need more bullpen tomorrow. Yeah. I'm almost wondering, and I want to get your take on this, I'm almost wondering if the Padres do take a lead in this game by, let's say, a few runs. If we see kind of what we saw, see what we saw last week, where, I don't want to say they're punting the game, but
they punted. They punted.
Yeah, they punted. So punted. I am wondering here tonight if you can take a lead early, if we may see something like that again.
You absolutely could. It was game 2 of the series last week. You could very much be in a similar situation here tonight. As you said, Sheehan, I think, has not thrown more than 60-something pitches in his rehab. He's literally coming back from Tommy John, so they're not going to be aggressive with him, and they're going to need arms tomorrow. Now, they might have some other guys they can call up. I am not totally up to date on the OKC Comet pitching situation, so it's not necessarily just these guys that they're worried about, but yeah, I mean, you're absolutely correct to call that out now. If the Padres jump out big early, we could see another multi-inning Kike Hernandez kind of night tonight. And again, Dave Roberts' job is to win games. And if tonight doesn't look winnable to him and he wants to punt on it, I get it. They did it in the playoffs, for goodness sake, last year. And, I think it's ugly. Like I said, it's bad. It's not good entertainment. You feel for the fans who pay who knows how much money to come to all these games. And then you're seeing a position player on the mound for 2 innings or whatever it was, 2.5 innings the other day. I mean, as long as the rules are the way they are, I get why the Dodgers are doing it. Would I like to see the rules adjusted? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Jesse, appreciate the time. You're right. Why am I dancing around the word punted? They punted last week. We'll see if the Padres can make them do something like that again here today. Jesse, thanks so much. Enjoy this one.
You too, man.
All right, that's Jesse Agler joining us on our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show here on the Padres Radio Network as we get ready for today's game. Still a lot to do. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Plus, a little bit later, I go one-on-one with Padres reliever David Morgan. He's done a very nice job in the early portion of his Padres and Major League career. Our keys to the game, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and much, much more to do as we walk you up towards first pitch coming up at 7:10 here in L.A. This is the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show here on the Padres Radio Network.
Stay tuned to the EcoWater SoCal.
Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you here in LA as we get ready for game 2 of this 4-game series. A lot to do between now and first pitch. I go one-on-one with David Morgan, who threw 2 scoreless innings in yesterday's game. We'll hear from David a little bit later on. What is turning into a really nice evening here in Southern California. Grounds crew here at Dodger Stadium getting the field all ready, currently watering the infield dirt, and nobody warming up yet in the outfield, but I'm sure guys will get out here in a little bit. Stadium starting to fill in here and there in LA, and should be a nice night of baseball as the Padres try to bounce back and take game 2 of this 4-game series. Padres lineup today looks like this. Fernando Tatis Jr. in right field leading off. Luis Arraez at first base batting second. Manny Machado at third base batting third. Gavin Sheets, the DH, Gavin Sheets in left field batting cleanup. Xander Bogaerts, the DH, batting fifth. Jake Cronenworth at second base batting sixth. Jose Iglesias at shortstop batting seventh. Brandon Lockridge in center field batting eighth. And Martin Maldonado doing the catching and batting ninth with right-hander Randy Vasquez on the mound. Starting lineup for the Dodgers looks like this. Shohei Ohtani, the DH, is leading off. Mookie Betts batting second, playing shortstop. Freddie Freeman at first, batting third. Will Smith in the cleanup spot doing the catching. Teoscar Hernandez in right field batting fifth. Max Muncy at third base batting sixth. Andy Pages in center field batting seventh. In left, Michael Conforto in the eighth spot. And Tommy Edman batting ninth and playing second base with left-hander Jack Dreyer on the mound for LA. Again, Dreyer will get the start. You don't expect him to go more than an inning or two. It is going to be a bullpen day for the Dodgers in this one. With all that in mind, let's hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt before today's game.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
Randy Vasquez, he did a really nice job against the Dodgers last time. What do you think was one of the secrets to his success in that last outing?
Yeah, I think he did throw the ball very well. Kept him off balance. That was the biggest key. In and out, add, subtract. Disrupting the timing and balance was pitching. He did a nice job.
Following up with that, does he go back with the same program until they prove something different? Do you proactively make the adjustment? It's always that chess game, that cat and mouse game. What do you think? And without giving anything away, how does that work?
Yeah, I think him and Maldy have a plan, and they'll react to what the hitters are showing them. And biggest thing is really, having the plan, but execution of the plan. So, his ability to throw where he wants to and repeat is going to be the key to this one.
Any update on you? What his next game plan is for Darvish?
Yeah, Darvish is going to throw back in San Diego on Friday, another simulated game. It looks like Friday could push to Saturday, so I don't want to create any false expectations, but he is trending towards at least an inning or an inning plus on Friday.
Okay. Jackson continuing to improve, hopefully.
Jackson is improving. I've messaged with him, considerable amount. So he's cleared a few hurdles in the sense of not as consistent a headache. Appetite good, nausea kind of gone away, starting to kind of get his literal footing again and starting to feel, reasonably normal again. So, he's making strides, but still lingering effects.
Mike, David Morgan continues to be impressive. 2 scoreless innings last night. What's been your general takeaway from what he's done so far?
Throwing the ball well. I mean, the starting point is he's not backing down. He's coming in and he's getting after it. He's throwing a really good fastball with good velocity, but also mixing a two-seamer occasionally. The breaking ball's been really good. So he's gone out twice now and grabbed, an inning and 2/3 over in San Francisco to keep a game really tight. That was a 1-run game. And then last night kept a game that was, a couple guys get on and they swing at the bat, they can tie it. And he get through 2 innings last night that were very effective.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt earlier today inside the Padres dugout. We'll hear more from Mike on our postgame coverage coming up later on this evening. Sam Levitt back with you inside Dodger Stadium here in LA as we get ready for first pitch coming up at 7:10. Let's tell you who's hot, who's not.
Which player is locked in at the dish? Who needs to kick things up another notch? This is Who's Hot, Who's Not on the Padres Radio Network.
We begin with a look at the hot category. Manny Machado in that category, certainly for the Padres still. Manny hitting .327 in his last 25 games with a .977 OPS in that span. 8 home runs, 25 RBIs in his last 25 games. In fact, in his last 13 games alone, Manny is hitting .370 with 4 home runs and 18 RBIs in that span. He's now only 15 hits away from reaching 2,000 on his career. Fernando Tatis Jr. Hey, Nando, welcome to the hot category. Yeah, 10 for 17 in his last 4 games with 3 doubles and 3 RBIs in that span. Gavin Sheets in the midst of a 7-game hitting streak. He's 10 for 25 in that span with a home run and 3 doubles. For the Dodgers, Max Muncy is hitting .347 in his last 15 games with 5 home runs and 13 RBIs in that span. As far as the not category, we focus on Jose Iglesias in the lineup today, playing shortstop for the Padres. He only has 3 hits in his last 28 plate appearances. Tyler Wade is 0 for his last 12. Wade available off the bench today. A couple of guys that are not swinging the bat super well right now for the Dodgers. We focus on Mookie Betts. He's only 4 for his last 19. And Freddie Freeman only 2 for his last 18. Both those guys, those numbers, a span of the last 5 games. So neither guy swinging the bat super well right now towards the top of the LA lineup. And that's a look at who's hot, who's not, as we get ready for Game 2 of this 4-game series. Let's take you around the horn.
Let's examine the most important news and the latest information you need to know in the world of Major League Baseball. Sam Levitt takes you around the horn. Presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Get ready for Major League winning when you join Valley View Casino and Hotel's Players Club and receive over $200 in free instant offers. Visit valleyviewcasino.com to learn more today.
Let's begin with Rafael Devers, who is in tonight's lineup for the Giants as they host the Guardians. Devers will make his Giants debut after that blockbuster trade from the Red Sox over the weekend. Meanwhile, the Red Sox are looking to win a 7th consecutive game as they take on the Mariners tonight in Seattle. By the way, Rafael Devers earlier today had his introductory press conference in San Francisco. He said about his position, quote, "They're the men in charge. I'm here to play wherever they want me to play." And it does appear, according to Giants manager Bob Melvin, that he will take grounders at first base in the next few days and ultimately DH and play first base for the Giants. So apparently the Giants can get him to do what the Red Sox could not get him to do. And Rafael Devers makes his Giants debut tonight in San Francisco. Ellie De La Cruz of the Cincinnati Reds entered today looking to homer in 5 consecutive games as the Reds play the Twins in Minnesota. I do want to look at that game quickly, see if De La Cruz is homered here tonight. Again, he came in looking for a home run in 5 consecutive games. That game's still going on right now. 6-5 Cincinnati leads in the 6th inning, but De La Cruz has not homered yet, but he's looking for a 5th straight game with a home run. Other Reds news, they placed right-handed reliever Graham Ashcraft on the 15-day IL earlier today with a right groin strain. He was one of their more dependable relievers. Nets putting right-hander Tylor Megill on the IL with a right elbow sprain. He is the second Met starter to land on the IL in the last 4 days. Right-hander Kodai Senga was placed on the IL on Friday with a right hamstring strain. Joe Torre will serve as an honorary coach for the All-Star game in Atlanta on July 15th. So Joe Torre will be in the dugout. It was announced today. And, of course, Aaron Boone will be the representative for the AL manager with the Yankees in last year's World Series. So Joe Torre will be in the dugout as an honorary coach for the AL. And finally, interesting situation in Philadelphia. Nick Castellanos was held out of the Phillies lineup today after making an inappropriate comment on Monday. That was according to Phillies manager Rob Thompson. Thompson said Castellanos made the comment after he was removed from Monday night's game in the 8th inning for defensive purposes. And Castellanos said, quote, "I wasn't happy about it, spoke my mind. He said that I crossed the line, so my punishment is I'm not playing." So that is the latest from Philadelphia. Nick Castellanos not in the lineup today for something he said to Rob Thompson in yesterday's game. And that's a look at the headlines from around the major leagues. When we come back, I go one-on-one with Padres reliever David Morgan. Very nice job by David last night, 2 scoreless innings. Also, a little bit later, we break down today's starting pitching matchup, including right-hander Randy Vasquez on the mound for San Diego. First pitch coming up at 7:10 here in LA for Game 2 of this 4-game series on the Padres Radio Network.
Hey, San Diego, it's Woodsy. My family discovered the perfect...
Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you from Dodger Stadium in LA as we get ready for Game 2 of this 4-game series. First pitch coming up at 7:10. Jesse Agler and Mark Grant, Jesse and Mud, on the call tonight here on the radio side of things. They come your way at the very top of the hour. I go one-on-one with Padres reliever David Morgan in just a little bit. First, let's give you the latest on the Padres injuries.
Who's in? Who's out? This is the Bada Fulkerson Injury Report, presented by San Diego's Bulldog Injury Attorneys, who hope you're never in an accident. But if you are, make Bada Fulkerson the first call you make. Hit him up 24/7 at badafulkerson.com.
Well, we heard the update from Mike Shildt a little bit earlier. Yu Darvish will throw in another simulated game in San Diego. Sounds like that's going to be Friday or Saturday. Jackson Merrill still on the 7-day concussion IL after being placed on there Sunday. Jason Hayward is playing another rehab game for AAA El Paso right now. He's playing left field. AAA El Paso, the Chihuahuas, and the Reno Aces going at it in El Paso tonight, tied at 1 in the 4th inning there. Jason Hayward in left field tonight. And that's a quick look at our injury report as we get ready for Game 2 of this 4-game set. Well, David Morgan, a really nice day yesterday. 2 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. Helped keep it a 3-run deficit, although the Padres could not make up that deficit. David Morgan did his job. You look at what he's done so far in the major leagues. He's been solid. 2.53 ERA in 9 appearances. David Morgan, of course, with ties to the San Diego area, family from San Diego and grew up a Padres fan. So certainly a very cool story. I caught up with David Morgan inside the Padres clubhouse earlier today. Sam Levitt here on the Padres Radio Network as we get ready for today's game. And right now I'm joined by Padres reliever David Morgan. David, congratulations on a really nice appearance last night in game one of this series. 2 scoreless innings. What worked for you last night?
Just finding a way to get ahead. Get ahead of guys and find a way to put them away. Curveball's been great, using that pitch a lot. So kind of just the bread and butter, living away, finding a way to get in and just get ahead and put guys away.
What's been good about the curveball in particular?
Trusting it in the zone. It's a good pitch that I've been using to get ahead and, getting chased with it too. So finding a way to get ahead with that pitch and use it early and use it late.
Now, it feels like often we hear a lot of guys talk about getting ahead with the fastball to establish the other breaking pitches. Sounds like for you, it's maybe a little bit of the opposite right now. Why has that been the way you've been pitching and it's worked lately too?
That's just what I've been seeing from the hitters, reading hitters and seeing what they're kind of the feedback I'm getting from them. And that's kind of the feedback I've been getting.
As far as reading hitters and facing the caliber of hitters you're now facing, that's a really talented Dodger lineup on the other side. What are you noticing about the way major league hitters are reacting to your stuff?
It's kind of the same, right? It's the same game. Noticing early on in counts they're ambushing my fastball a little bit more often. I've been seeing that a little bit more, so just kind of respecting that and understanding that fine line to play off of and, use the off speed as well.
Do you feel like attacking the fastball early in counts is something that maybe in the minors they weren't doing as much?
Not as often, and down there, able to get ahead with it a little bit more often, just, dominating with it. Up here, guys can, sit on 100 and be okay with it. So learning how to throw all my pitches in the zone and using all of them.
We're joined by Padres reliever David Morgan here on the Padres Radio Network. You've been thrown into this Padres-Dodgers rivalry, obviously electric atmosphere at Petco Park, big-time atmosphere here yesterday with Padres-Dodgers, but Ohtani starting, all of it. What's been your impression of being involved in games like this so far?
It's awesome. I grew up dreaming about this type of stuff, grew up rooting against the Dodgers. So getting to play against them now and kind of, pronounce myself here has been pretty cool.
Is it what you, from an emotional standpoint, or I guess an atmosphere standpoint, is it what you expected or is it different?
It's pretty much what I expected. Yeah. These fans like to, say some things to you and I grew up kind of hearing that stuff. So I kind of expected it.
As far as just being a part of this bullpen, it's been a group that's been really solid all year. Now that you've had a chance to be around it, you're going on 9-10 appearances now in the major leagues, becoming a real nice part of this bullpen. What has been your experience with this pen? What stands out about this group as a whole?
Just who they are as people. They've been awesome to me since day one. They're amazing people. Ben Fritz and the bullpen coach, an amazing guy. And, he's really calm and calm bullpen coach. We have a calm bullpen. So that's kind of been my impression, just laid back. And when it's your time to go, it's go time. But overall, just really good people and want us all to succeed.
I asked you this after you made your debut about, somebody having so many local ties and what your phone looked like as the phone calmed down. Have you got back to everybody so far?
Was able to get back to everyone, after the first day. But, each time I go out there, it's, more and more, especially last night. I had a lot of people watching. I have a lot of friends who are Dodger fans, being from Orange County. A lot of friends who are Padre fans as well. So I had a lot of people watching that one.
Obviously, you've had a baseball journey. You've been playing the game a long time in the Padres system now for some time. But have you had anybody reach out to you, especially in this series, because it's all Southern California? Anybody reach out to you being like, hey, David Morgan, you're in the major leagues now?
couple, yeah. I did end up getting a text from Trevor Hoffman.
Oh, my goodness.
He reached out, said some pretty cool things to me. So it's cool to get a text from a guy like that. Have that guy in my corner now. Guy I grew up, watching. So, cool to get a text like that.
David, great work last night. Keep up the good work in the Padres bullpen, and we'll talk to you again down the road. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Good stuff with David Morgan. 2 good innings last night in relief here in LA. We'll see what's in store for the Padres bullpen here tonight with right-hander Randy Vasquez on the mound. First pitch coming up at 7:10. Sam Levitt back with you inside Dodger Stadium. Let's give you our keys to tonight's game.
How will the Padres unlock a win today? These are the keys to the game. Presented by El Centro Motors Ford. Meet your new Ford General Manager, Greg Ryan, now at El Centro Motors Ford, your new Ford truck, Bronco, and SUV HQ. Call Greg directly at 619-944-0774.
Key number one, somehow figure out this Dodger bullpen. The Padres struggled against the Dodgers' top-end relievers once again last night. Alex Vesia threw 8 pitches to get the final 2 outs in the 6th inning. Michael Kopech threw just 11 pitches in the 7th. Tanner Scott threw 7 in the 8th. Kirby Yates threw 10 pitches in the 9th inning. Now, the good news is that Vesia, Scott, and Yates all pitched on Sunday, so that's 2 straight days of work for all those guys. They could be unavailable tonight. Ben Kasparius threw 62 pitches last night, so you know he's unavailable. Matt Sauer could see some innings tonight for the Dodgers, and I took a deep dive into how the Padres have done against other Dodger relievers not named Matt Sauer. Now, this includes Dodger openers and doesn't include quote-unquote reliever Kike Hernandez or quote-unquote opener Shohei Ohtani. Against Matt Sauer, remember that game in San Diego last Tuesday? They put 9 earned runs on him in 4 2/3 innings. Against everybody else in the Dodger bullpen, the Padres have allowed their bullpen to post a 1.170 ERA in 4 games. My point is, the Padres have not figured out this bullpen really aside from that one guy. And again, the good news, they could face Sauer for a while tonight. You wonder if Justin Robleski could get involved. He did throw 66 pitches on Friday against the Giants. We know Jack Dreyer can't provide the length that somebody like Sauer can, somebody like Kasparius can. We'll see how it all shakes out. But Padres have not hit the Dodger bullpen very well outside of Sauer, that one guy. How do they do against those guys here tonight? That's key number one. Key number 2, the Padres went just 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position last night. That one hit did not score a run. Padres also had 2 innings where they had a runner on second base with nobody out, and they didn't score that runner. Against this Dodger team, you got to be better than that. Got to do better with runners in scoring position. That's key number 2. Key number 3, more Manny. Manny Machado is 6 for 17 with 8 RBIs in 4 games against the Dodgers this season. Manny had a home run last night. And key number 4, continue to limit Mookie. Mookie Betts had an RBI single last night, but he's still just 3 for 17 against the Padres so far this season. Padres have done a relatively good job against Mookie Betts so far this year. And that's a look at our keys to today's game. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
A full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Tuesday evening. We have a number of games that have gone final already. Angels beat the Yankees again 4-0 in New York. Rockies beat the Nationals 10-6. Tigers beat the Pirates 7-3. Marlins beat the Phillies 8-3. Games going on right now. Diamondbacks 4, Blue Jays 3 in Toronto in the 8th inning. Reds lead the Twins 6-5 in Cincinnati in the 8th. Mets ahead of the Braves 4-1 in Atlanta in the 8th inning. Juan Soto, Tyrone Taylor, home runs in that one for the Mets. Orioles beat the Rays 4-1 in Tampa Bay, or I should say beating the Rays 4-1 in Tampa Bay in the 8th inning. Cardinals 9, White Sox 2, 8th inning in Chicago. Royals leading the Rangers 6-1 in Arlington in the 6th inning. Cubs leading the Brewers 4-3 in Chicago in the 6th inning. Red Sox and the Mariners just underway in Seattle. Scoreless game there. Same between the Guardians and the Giants in San Francisco. One game yet to begin aside from this one, the Astros and the A's at 7:05 in Sacramento. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Tuesday. When we come back, we tell you what to watch for in tonight's game. Full look at our pitching matchup. That's after this.
You're listening
EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network as we get ready for today's game. EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Your water should be perfect. First pitch coming up at 7:10. Let's tell you what to watch for.
What's the one thing Sam Levitt will be keeping his eye on in today's game? This is What to Watch For. Presented by Genesis Home Improvements, San Diego's trusted painting, roofing, and window company. Save 15% today on a new beginning for your home. Visit GenesisHomeImprovementsSD.com.
What to watch for in today's game? Can Xander Bogaerts continue to produce? Xander had an RBI double last night. Bogey has an RBI in 3 consecutive games, 5 RBIs in his past 6 games. Before that, he drove in just 1 run in the 22 games prior. So all of a sudden, Xander Bogaerts is producing more runs. He's DHing tonight and batting 5th. Can Xander continue to produce with runners on base? That's what to watch for in Game 2 of this 4-game series. Let's dive into tonight's pitching matchup.
Let's take a look at who's on the bump today with our starting pitching preview on the Padres Radio Network.
Right-hander Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres today, 26 years old. He's 3-4, a 3.57 ERA in 14 starts, 68 innings, 41 strikeouts, and 35 walks. Last start was against the Dodgers. He was solid, 4 2/3 innings, 2 hits given up, 1 run, 70 pitches, only 1 walk. It came on a solo home run allowed to Michael Conforto. That was Randy's first ever start against the Dodgers. Randy has not reached 5 complete innings in 4 of his last 5 starts. The last one really wasn't on him. The Padres, like we talked about earlier with Jesse, they were aggressive to go to the bullpen when facing the Dodgers a 3rd time through the order. So that'll be interesting to see today if Randy is good, if they let him go deeper in this game. Splits for Randy this season. Righties batting just 198 against them. Lefties at 276. Left-hander Jack Dreyer, a 26-year-old rookie on the mound for the Dodgers today. A bullpen game. Dreyer will be the opener. 2-2, a 2.78 ERA, 27 appearances on the year, 3 starts, 35 2/3 innings. He struck out 35 and walked 15. Made an appearance last week against the Padres, got a couple of outs, gave up a hit, a walk, and an unearned run. Has given up just 1 earned run in his last 8 appearances, and you wouldn't expect Dreyer to go more than just an inning or 2 in this start here today on another bullpen day for the Dodgers. And that's a look at our starting pitching matchup. As always, we thank you for listening to the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Your water should be perfect. Well, the Padres falling in yesterday's game here in LA, 6-3. We'll see if the Padres can bounce back on this Tuesday night at Dodger Stadium. Should be a lot of fun with Randy Vasquez on the mound and Jack Dreyer opening up this bullpen day for LA. When we come back, it's Jesse Agler and Mark Grant. They have the full starting lineups, first pitch, and all the play-by-play. I'll talk to you on our post-game coverage. You're listening to your home for San Diego Padres baseball, 97.3 The Fan, and the Padres Radio Network. Enjoy the game, everybody.